Welcome to the Plastic Surgery Secrets Talk, a podcast where we go behind the scenes of everything in the plastic surgery and aesthetics world. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Spiegel.
And I'm Dr. O'Neill from the Spiegel Center just outside of Boston. And today we'll be talking about how to get that perfect snatched jaw and chin.
A snatched jaw, is that like a snatched jaw?
I guess so, without an accent.
Okay. Oh, those are almost the same. Snatched jaw sounds like something. It sounds like a snatched jaw. Sounds like a pet food you'd get at PetSmart. But okay, anyway.
Right.
So what are we talking about?
So we are talking about really kind of influencers, young people.
Do you mean
Hallie
Hallie Kate
Kate
and Victoria Paris? They're the big influencers.
And there's another one, the
You
Baldwin.
can see they've had a huge influence on us.
Yeah, and the Baldwin girl. What's her name?
Ireland Baldwin.
Baldwin.
Well, she did something else which we want to talk about because
Okay.
she might have made an even smarter decision, but we'll get to that later. So you see a lot of people who want snatched jawlines.
I do. I definitely do. And I do it completely non-invasive. So for a lot of people who want like a little bit more defined jaw, we add a little bit of fillers to their jaw. And we definitely almost always start with Botox to the neck, to the platysmal bands. Really relaxes the neck. We've been doing it for years on kind of more mature people who are now like kids to me, 40-some-year-olds and 50-year-olds. But now we're doing it on younger people who kind of want that snatched jaw.
Well, the key there is that a snatched jaw is really a jawline that is clearly distinct. And it's not covered in soft skin, it's not covered in a double chin, it's not covered in fat. And so you had the Victoria Paris and the Hallie Kate, and they're talking about their liposuction online. And liposuction is good. And then you had Ireland Baldwin, who went further into something called face tight, which is also part of body tight. I'll tell you about that in a second here. And that's even better, usually. But what's the difference? The difference is, where is the fat? In your neck, you've got the skin. Then you've got some fat. Then you've got what's called the platysma muscle, which is the muscle that tightens up and can cause bands. And you just mentioned how you're doing botulinum to the platysma muscle to relax it and keep it from sagging and kind of tuck up, and you can see the jawline. And you also mentioned how you're doing fillers along the jawline, which is making the jawline more distinct. Well, if you've got too much thick skin, liposuction can be helpful.
Absolutely. And years ago, all we were doing was liposuction. But if your skin is a little bit more mature, it doesn't retract quite as well. It's like being pregnant in your 20s versus being pregnant in your 30s or 40s. Yeah, it's not going to retract quite as well as it does for women in their 20s. And the same goes for the neck. If you do a liposuction and you're really young, the skin will retract and it will be great. But as you get a little bit more mature in age, your skin just doesn't react the same. And so something like what the Baldwin did will work really well. It will, Ireland Baldwin, she added that face tight, so she added heat and radio frequency, and it really, makes a big difference.
That's exactly right. It causes the skin contraction. It melts the fat in a uniform way. Liposuction can be great as long as the fat is in the right spot. But that's where you have to be very, very careful about who you see that's evaluating you. Because if you go to a place where they say, oh, let's get rid of this superficial fat, we're going to do Kybella, or we're going to do some cool sculpting or fat freezing. And that's going to attack just the topmost layer of fat. But a lot of people, that's not it. There are these deeper muscles here. There's the mylohyoid muscle, there's the platysma muscle, and there are muscles there, and there can be fat beneath that platysma muscle, which is really causing your jawline not to be visible. And now, when you take a photo, if you're a model, of course, people are doing that mewing, right? What's that, where you kind of push your tongue against the roof of your mouth as hard as you can? It's lifting all those neck muscles up. It's lifting the base of your tongue. It's defining that snatched jawline. And people also know, if you're a professional model, or like me, you just look good in photos, to tilt your chin down and kind of extend your chin out slightly, and then you're going to define that jawline.
So this podcast is all about secrets. So, let's talk about the secrets behind this. People think that it's a long recovery from embrace, face tight, that sort of thing. And the truth is, the recovery is very minor. Like people get it done on Wednesday. By Monday, they go back to work. You wear that band over your face for like a long weekend. That's for the big bang. Like for the embrace, that's the one we were talking about, where you go with a face tight, you put heat, radio frequency,
That's where you're going under the skin instead of through the skin.
right. And if you're just doing the something like a combination of Morpheus, which is just the microneedling with radio frequency with fat freezing or something like that, there's no recovery time. If you do those platysma band Botox for the platysma bands, no recovery.
No recovery. And in fact, even with face tight, you said if you do it on a Wednesday, you're back to work Monday. I think that's true. But if you can work remote, you're back to work Thursday. You can take off your wrap when you need to be on Zoom for your one meeting a day. And then, if you're working remotely, you can certainly sit at your computer and then go to the laundry or the gym, all the other things you do when you're working remotely.
And we're definitely not promoting work remotely.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is that the recovery is very minor, so people don't need to be
that is a
particularly
secret.
concerned about it. And more than that, when you think, oh wow, this is going to be invasive, it's not. You've got tumescent here, which is basically all numbed, so you don't feel a thing.
Right. It's very comfortable, very quick and easy. But the other secret to a snatched jawline is what we started with, which is fillers along the jawline, because not everybody has a heavy neck and they still don't have good jaw definition. So if you've got thin skin and a nice neck, but you want to show off your jaw better, you're just going to need more jaw.
Right. And so that's where the fillers come in, and they last a really long time. And a little bit of botulinum for your neck bands. It looks perfect. On the reverse side of it, some people where it sticks out too far, or for people who have TMJ problems and clenching, then we do a little bit of Botox here. It does make it a little bit more narrow here, which is beautiful for some people if you want more of a heart-shaped face. But that gives you it's an additional way to treat and really get that snatched jawline.
That's right. The masseter muscle, which is, as you know, of course, is the jaw muscle on the side of your face, is a big, thick, round muscle. Underneath that is a sharp jaw. So if you have a rounded side of your face and you want a snatched jawline, paradoxically, shrinking that muscle will allow that sharper bone to be seen. That's where you're going to get that precision and that definition. And the other secret I think we should talk about is something called a deep neck lift, which is what a lot of these people are doing. And a deep neck lift is something you do in your 20s or your 30s. It's not necessarily for people when they start to get into older ages and that. It's done with a tiny little incision underneath your chin in a groove. You're talking about 1.5 inches. And that's where we're able to get underneath that platysmal layer. That platysma is what's causing those bands. But the fat underneath that is often the real problem that's obscuring the neck and preventing that sharp jawline. And we can take it out directly in the OR. It takes about an hour. Recovery is pretty quick and easy. And that's something that we're doing on people in their 20s and early 30s. And that is a quick, easy, effective procedure that lasts a lifetime.
I was going to say, how long does it last?
Yeah, it lasts a lifetime. That fat
awesome.
is gone once it's gone, and we can tighten the muscles and really create this nice hammock or sling under your jawline to show off your jawline.
And the biggest secret that I want to talk about with regard to Botox and fillers, Botox lasts about 3 to 4 months, and fillers last about a year. The earlier you do it in your life cycle, so if you start in your 20s and your early 30s, the less you need going forward. So people that I'm doing neck bands on in their 50s and 60s, you really have to do it every 3 to 4 months. You can't take a break. You can't extend the time of it. But people who are doing it as a prevention, prophylactically, every 6 months or so, and you do very, very little, and they'll never have those bands. They'll never have that thick platysmal muscle that pulls everything down, and they'll always keep that snatched jaw.
That's right. So good secrets. So filler to the jawline, liposuction, a quick, easy approach, energy liposuction such as face tight, even better, deep neck lift when you need it. These are great secrets.
So talk about secrets. We've got Madonna who's done a couple of things, and we also want to talk about Mother's Day.
Yeah, well, here's Madonna, for those of you at home. And the fact that Madonna has done something would be the least secret thing in the world. Madonna is,
Well, how old is she? She's like 62 years old. She looks better than ever. You actually like are from the same dorm room as
yeah, I
her.
lived in the same dormitory as Madonna, although she's older than I am. But so Madonna is an example of things good and bad. The good is that she is empowered, takes control, helps, does what she needs to help herself, looks how she wants, seeks out assistance, and is not embarrassed or is not secretive about sharing that she does things. And she goes out in public when she's had it. And she took some flack for it, which annoyed her because she looked very swollen in one of her big public appearances. But then she posted a photo a little while later as the swelling went down saying, "Look at me, I look ridiculously young." And she does. And so she's being who she wants to be. And
Yeah.
I
Why
guess,
not? You live by one life, so you might as well
yeah, live for yourself.
enjoy your life. So talk to me about Mother's Day. This is going to be our 5th year sponsoring the Mother's Day competition. People are like looking forward to it.
What is it? It's a race?
It's a so we go on all social media channels, and people send in stories and pictures of their moms or their moms with their families or anything like that. And a good story gets people to vote. So if you've got a good story,
Well,
it
what is
doesn't
the,
have to be your mom. It can be someone else's mom. It could be a dog mom too.
or a stepmom, or a mother-in-law, or any of those things?
Yeah, anybody who is,
And what kind of stories are you looking for?
we're looking for a deserving mom
Well,
that deserves
what do they deserve
treatment
to get?
treatment at the Spiegel Center, and it's all sponsored by us, paid by us, for the most deserving mom of 2023.
Yeah, that's great. And you've been doing this for a number of years, so we ask people to send in, like you said, stories, pictures of a mother who really deserves some TLC at TSC, and then we vote,
Yeah,
and whoever it is that is chosen as the most deserving mom of the year really gets a pretty extensive makeover. And it can be life changing. People who have had a hard time, people who have had maybe not some of the experiences they wanted to have, and they come out looking great and feeling better about themselves.
right. So it's April, and we're getting ready for Mother's Day that's coming up.
So, where will we find out how to send in pictures and info?
We're going to have it all over social media. So get ready, get those photos ready, get those pictures, and get these stories ready, and send them to us. We will post them randomly. And it's very simple. The one that gets the most comments and votes gets to win a mommy makeover
That
at
could
the
be
Spiegel.
including a snatched jawline, so it all fits together.
There you go. So there you go. There you have it. All the secrets, and the biggest secret is Mother's Day. But it's no longer a secret. Like, I don't want it to be a secret. So
Right, so
so
send in
here we
your
are
people and
sending
share
it.
it.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to Plastic Surgery Secrets Talk.
If you like what you heard and want to get in contact with us, you can call 617-566-3223 or email us at info@drspiegel.com and follow us on social media at Dr. Spiegel.